All right, welcome to the Chartroom on Dockside Live Radio, everybody. I'm your host, Jason Acey from Music City, Trop Rock, filling in for Mr. Johnny Russler in this September. We're going to be talking to Ray Boone here in a minute, the Dockside Live Artist of the Month. This episode will be aired every Wednesday in September, but as of today, it is August 30th. We are recording it ahead of time. And today is the newly proclaimed Jimmy Buffett Day. So before we get started, I got a few things to say. There's some banter going back and forth online about which day we should be celebrating Jimmy Buffett and is the day that he died or another day. I'm not going to pretend to know the answers to that, but I do want to take this opportunity to say that I've always felt like I had some type of connection with Jimmy Buffett because he was from Mississippi and I'm from Mississippi, and he sang about places that I knew about, like Biloxi and Pascagoula and New Orleans. And he just sang good, fun songs, and I connected with that at an early age. And I do want to say thank you, Mr. Buffett, for sharing your art with the world, because I think it made the world a better place. And I, for one, am glad that I was alive during this time to witness it. All right, now we're going to get on with our interview. This is Trop Rock Artist of the Month for September for Dockside Live Radio, singer-songwriter Mr. Ray Boone. Ray, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Cool, good.
That's funny you mentioned Jimmy Buffett because I'm probably maybe a year or two older than you, but I grew up in South Florida on Buffett music before everybody knew who he was. We used to sneak into the coffee houses down here from the college kids when he was getting the following, getting started. And before we went to the Keys. So I've been instilled with his music since then.
So you're one of the lucky ones. You got in when it was early and saw the Key West days, huh?
Oh yeah. I've got a lot of stories. I didn't know Jimmy personally or anything like that, but I was Parrot Head before they were Parrot Heads, and I went to quite a few of his concerts in the early days, and a real memorable one that we had that was actually filmed back in the 80s was at in Miami Marina, and he was on a floating dock.
Yeah.
And if you ever saw the parody of that, there's a guy named Josh Leo that was his lead guitar player. Became a friend of mine later in Nashville. So it was ironic because when he first met me, he goes, "Wait a minute, you were at that concert?" I said, "Yeah, we were there making margaritas with battery operated, blah, 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 and floating in inner tubes." And he was like, "I've never met any one of those crazy people that was actually there." Yeah.
Was that the Live by the Bay concert?
Yeah. There was actually 2 days. One day it got rained out, and
I've got that on VHS, and I watch it quite often.
VHS, that's right.
You can't get it on DVD unless somebody's bootleg.
No, you can't. I tried because he had never seen it, and I found it online, and I tried to, with my equipment, I was going to take it from the VHS, but I ended up just bought him a VHS and gave it to him. But it was a neat time.
Yeah, sometimes you can find it on YouTube, and then it gets taken down.
Yeah.
But so are you in Florida now or in Nashville?
Yeah, no, I'm in Florida.
Okay. So you're living there full time?
Yeah. Can you see me? Because I just got a pop up on got to figure out how to turn this thing off. Let me get back to it. There it is.
You're still with us.
I haven't learned. I've got a bunch of junk on this computer. I've been on Macs since the 90s, and because I did a lot of television editing and producing and stuff, and I've been on them ever since. And I can't tell you how many I've gone through, because as you upgrade, probably with your equipment as well, you upgrade, and after a while they become obsolete, even though they still work.
Right.
I lost a lot of my plugins and all that kind of stuff. But
Yep. So you've got a lot of music out. I didn't really realize it until I started preparing for this interview and digging into your stuff. You've put out quite a few albums and EPs and songs over the last few years.
Yeah, I put out a few. I wouldn't say a lot, but what I could afford, Even being in Nashville, I had my own studio it's still expensive because by the time
Yeah.
you know, as you pay for everything. Well, you know, because I know by your recordings, because your recordings are really done well, and it takes a lot of effort to make a good product like that.
It is. It's a big investment. You really got to believe in what you're doing to put that money behind it.
Yeah.
You know.
And I have a lot of friends that are, you know, session musicians and musicians that go on the road and play out and stuff, but I still pay them. You don't give them to do it for free. It's a business. So,
Right.
you know,
Right.
it adds up if you do, you know, the more you add, but that's the fun part about it. I got into it later after writing, you know, doing demos. I didn't sing my own songs. And I think rightly so, because, you know, if you're pitching songs, which what I was doing, I was trying to pitch songs to get cut. And but I started late, and it's just hard. It got harder and harder. At least I got to do it when it was still kind of cool. But I've been coming to Nashville. I don't know. You say you're from Mississippi?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm from South Florida, and I had music when I was a kid, but you know, life got in the way, and I did a lot of other things. But when I finally did end up in Nashville, I got really bit by the writing bug, and I'd been going up there anyway because my cousin had been there since the 80s, and he's a writer. His name's Ray Boone, and he's got thousands of cuts. He sold, you know, he's not even doing it anymore, but a lot of number ones and top 20s and whatnot. But he got out of it just as I got there. So,
yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I read that on your website about your cousin, and I was going to ask you, was he a big influence in you getting into this?
Well, yeah, because I followed his career. You know, when he was on the road, he had a record deal, and it was pretty exciting. He was in Nashville 8 years before he finally got a cut. He lived over in Antioch, and you know, little apartment, and played for tips at the Wax Museum and over at a Holiday Inn. I remember we used to support him, and when he started getting a few cuts, then things changed, and then he got with co-writers, and then it just kind of took off, and he did real well. And you know, about mid 2006, 2007, things changed in the music business, and he just took his money, sold his catalogs, and says, "I'm done," and started doing real estate stuff. He did well. But I didn't do it. I didn't do it for the money. I did other things. I've been in television and lots of other. I wore a lot of hats.
Yeah,
years.
you got a lot of irons in the fire, I like to say.
Well, I did, and I'm trying to slow down now. But I don't do the outdoor television stuff anymore.
So you worked for RFD TV?
I did do some stuff on RFD TV. I don't know where'd you find that? That's got to be.
That's on your website.
On our website. I haven't looked at that thing. I didn't even know if it's up to date or not. Yeah, that was with Mike Curb, and that's how I got to Nashville. Really, I pitched a show, an idea that I had to my cousin, and he said, I think it's a great idea, but I wanted to do it about songwriting. And he said, it's a great idea, but he says, you know, Mike Curb owns a NASCAR team here in Nashville, and that's a pretty big deal. And he says, I told him about it, and we thought it'd be a great idea, kind of mix it. And I said, yeah, we'll call it Music and Motors, because it's pretty much the same kind of, you know, fans. And so we pitched it and did a thing, and I had it on RFD for about a year. We had Ford, and you know, then when all the oil crisis stuff came out and Ford started getting torn apart about, you know, wasting fuel and stuff like that, they had to bail out. So, but it was a good run, and I met a lot of people, and that's basically how I got into songwriting, really, because I met all these songwriters that my cousin introduced me to, and I just love doing it. You know, I didn't really do it for the money, and actually I wasn't even trying to get a cut, you know. I was just doing them for personal stuff. But then you know, most of the stuff that I've done in my life, usually if I get into it, I delve in and want to, you know, make it do the best I can. And if I figure out that I'm not good at it, then I get out. I bail.
So let's talk about some of your music. Your latest song you put out, Hotel Silverado.
Oh yeah, that's my recent one. Yeah.
So was that a true story? You had to go sleep in the truck?
It's a true story, but I have to protect the innocent. It's about another Trop Rock artist, and I got the idea in Key West, and actually I got it from a high school buddy of mine that I haven't seen in 50 some years. I don't know, maybe more than that. He showed up at a show down there, and I didn't even recognize him. And we got to talking, blah, blah, blah. And so we're sitting there. He bought everybody drinks, and he watched me play my set up at the Tuna and everything. And he says, wow, that's really something. I said, well, what do you do? I said, where are you staying? He says, oh, over at the Hotel Silverado. I said, where's that at? And he goes, this, down at the end of Caroline Street. I said, well, there's nothing there but boat docks and shrimp boats. He goes, yeah, the marina. He says, I'm staying in my pickup truck, dude. So that's where the idea came from.
I guess we've all done that a time or two in our lives. Maybe.
I guess. But I just like the story and tried to make it. I don't know. I just always feel that if I did write a good song, a really good song, and that a really good singer could take it a lot further. You know what that sounds like. And you're a good singer too, by the way.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Well, I remember when Mr. Burns and his son sent me your first song. I never knew who you were. And they said, this guy's like Nashville. And I said, okay. I said, is it Trop Rock or country? He said, well, we don't know if it's good enough for you, because they send me songs. And because they're not sure about Trop Rock and what's this or what's that. So they send me the song. They didn't know if it was good enough it would play in the air. I said, all right, just let me hear it real quick. And I go, guy, and it was Tiki Man Says, I think it's
yeah. Yeah, that was the first song out.
I heard that song. I go, you guys, if you have to ask me if that's a good song or not, you're gonna have to really kind of listen a little bit more, because I thought it had a good, the hook is great, and the product, everything was good about it. We don't always get a lot of that stuff, with our homemade music, but
right. I appreciate
very
that.
Good stuff. And I've heard some of your other songs, and it's really good. Do you write those?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, that's great. That's the best part.
I think when Tiki Man first came out, I think you had Rum Running Brothers out at the same time.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
That's one of the songs I was going to ask you about. Like, what was the inspiration for that song?
Well, I don't know. I'm BMI. I don't know. And I used to go down from Nashville with my friends, songwriting friends, to Key West every year for the Songwriters Festival. And this young fella I got to know. I mean, he's practically like my son, but he's more like my brother. And we hung around a lot together and wrote songs together. And when we were down there, and I was hanging with much younger guys, and riding bicycles and getting stupid, drinking, and going from bar to bar, playing music all week. And it was just like hardly any sleep. And it was so much fun. And that's what the song's about, us riding down Simonton Street and him stubbing his toe and pouring Jack Daniels on it.
Killing the pain
back off of his foot. So that's basically what it was about. And his name's Phoenix Mendoza, and he's a very prolific writer. I have some other songs with him as well. But he's a great writer and a really good artist himself.
Do you spend a lot of time in Key West?
No, not too much. It's kind of expensive.
It is.
Well, I mean, it's more, when I was younger, nobody even, we'd go down there and there was like nothing there. So later in years, the artists all showed up, and it was a nice community that way. It wasn't the tourist kind of thing that it is now.
Mm-hmm.
I even wrote a song about that, you know. Key West ain't Key West anymore.
Oh,
But
really?
so, you know, Key West, I love going down there for the vibe, for the music. That's the most fun. Other than that, if I wasn't fishing, I wouldn't be there if it wasn't that or music, because other than that, it's just tourist town, you know.
Yeah, it
But
can
it
get
was so
kind of
much fun.
crazy.
Yeah. And we actually wrote a few songs while, you know, inspired from down there.
Hmm.
My first album, the first song that Phoenix and I wrote down there when we had a BMI thing was the Island Song. First one we did. So, but, you know, I write country, I write Americana, I guess, more than anything, and stuff like that, story songs. And I got into Trop Rock because I didn't realize I was Trop Rock.
Right. It's kind of an
So,
underground thing for a lot of people. They don't really
yeah,
know it exists if you're not in
sure.
it.
Yeah, it's almost too underground.
Yeah.
I've been
Well,
actually filming because I'm a filmmaker. I've been making actually a sort of a documentary for about 2 years now. I've been taking a lot of film interviews and talking to people in the trop rock genre and see if it's a real thing. You know, it's music business is a tough spot right now, even in country or Americana or anywhere else. You know, to make money as a songwriter or an artist.
mhm.
It's unless you're out there beating the pavement and playing, you know, all the time.
Yeah, trop rock is a pretty loosely defined genre.
Yeah. And it's a mixture. If you look at the music, it's a mixture of anywhere from Hawaiian steel to Jamaican, you know, that kind of music mixed with country. I mean, it's all mixed up. It's
Right.
what we call trop rock. It's basically anything that sets you free, you know, to have freedom, just to get away and forget about the rat race.
A,
That's
vac-
trop
a,
rock.
a vacation for your mind.
A vacation for your mind. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what just like we started the song. There's an island in my mind
Hmm.
that I go to from time to time. So that's basically it, to get away and just kind of like let loose or
Right.
chill. But yeah.
Well, speaking of some of your music, you did an album a couple years ago, the Legacy album.
Oh, the legacy. Well, that's
Legacy.
just, yeah. Where did
I,
you find that? I didn't even think that was out there.
it's out there in the universe.
The only one that I put, the only station that I sent it to was Cruising Country, because Harry Tieford's always
Uh-huh.
been great to me at A1A. So I sent it to him, and it plays on that. But they're not. I don't know. It's just a mixture of songs that were personal to me. And before I left Nashville and dismantled my studio, because I knew I wasn't coming back to do it there, I gave the studio equipment to the guys that worked with me, and they work with Tanya Tucker. They're her band leader and multi-instrumentalist and everything. And
Hmm.
so they've got the equipment, and I can go back there and make it. But I knew I was leaving. I go, it's not as easy. It's not right there at the place. So
Right.
I said, I've got about, you know, half a dozen songs or so I want to record. Some of them I'd already done or made them as demos, and I just went ahead and put my vocals on them. Had them, you know, put my vocals on them. That's just basically it.
Well, I think I listened to it on Spotify, so it is on Spotify.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It probably is through
Yeah,
the distribution. Yeah.
and I have to say
Yeah.
it's a very heartfelt album. You can tell it's about your
Yeah.
your childhood, your friends, family, things that
Yeah.
are special to you. You can really hear
Yeah.
that.
Well, when I do house concerts here in Florida, you know, I go to some of those songs because I have a lot of stories that attach to them.
Hmm.
Some are humorous, some are sad, some are not so great, you know. But I like writing that kind of stuff. It's not commercial, you know, in any way.
Yeah, you just got to write what feels good to you, and if you
Yeah.
like it, then somebody else is bound to like it.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Well, I learned a long time ago, you know, I mean, trying to chase that cut, you know, I had worked with so many guys that did in publishing companies, and been so many songwriter rounds and pitching songs and doing in the business part of it. It's tough. It's a real, you know, and I feel I have a little bit of talent, but the people are around, just like musicians. I play guitar. I don't tell anybody in Nashville I play guitar because I've got some friends that are such good guitar players. It would be embarrassing, but they know. But no, everybody's really good about it in the songwriting community. But a lot of it's changed.
Yeah, in Nashville, just any old Joe that walks through the door would cut your head off with a guitar.
Yeah,
you
that's
never
right.
know.
Yeah,
So
I know.
do you still have your video production company?
I still have the company. I still have equipment. I just don't. I have a website that I'm closing part of it down because I did music videos, and I used to do everything, commercials, television. I did outdoor, with the Sportsman's Channel. I was a professional fisherman for like 30 years, so I did a lot of hunting and fishing shows on the Outdoor Channel and commercials. That's what I did, and then I kind of branched off in the songwriting because I knew I was going to get close to retire. And that's what I want to do. That's all I'm doing now is just making music. I mean, it's costing me to make music. I'm not making any money off of it, but I'm having fun doing it. And I pick the festivals that I want to do, songwriter things. Like we have Island Hoppers down here, which is sort of like the Key West one from BMI. So I got into that one this year. It was hard to get in, but I got it, and BMI got me in on it. So I'm playing that, and I'm going up to Hilton Head in a couple of weeks to meet with Phoenix and Josh because they're playing. And I didn't get in that one, but I'm just going to go hang out with them.
Gotcha.
And I'm doing the thing up in the festival, the River Festival. I have a songwriter round. Mm-hmm. That's it.
What part of Florida did you say you're living in?
Well, I'm in Cape Coral now, near Fort Myers.
Okay. All right. That's a nice area. Really.
Yeah. I like it here.
Really, anywhere in Florida is nice.
It's Trop Rock, man. It's Trop Rock town. That address has Tropical Terrace. I live on Tropical Terrace.
Now, you could probably answer a question for me. I know that my experience in Florida, especially on any coastal town, like Southern rock and classic rock is really big.
Yeah.
In Florida still.
Yeah.
Is that the case?
Well, classic rock, because of the Van Zants, from Jacksonville. I play some of their songs too. I love their music. I'm into that kind of music too. And the Bellamy Brothers, they're from here, they're country, but they're boys. They're kind of Southern rock.
I didn't know they were from Florida. That's news for me.
Oh yeah, they're from right up the road here, just outside of Tampa, Darby, Florida.
Okay.
Little bitty. You have a hard time finding it on the map. But I've always loved their music as well, and country. So I'm inspired by a lot of those.
Yeah, I have a wide, eclectic sense of music too. I grew up. Yeah. I remember when I was about 10 years old, talking my mother into taking me to the record store where there was records and tapes. And on the same day, I got Jimmy Buffett, One Particular Harbor, and the other tape I got was Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love. So that's a wide range right there.
Yeah. Well, all that music when I was younger, more like the type of age you're talking about there, is like, well, I got them I got One Particular Harbor. It was on a vinyl.
Yeah.
I still have it somewhere here, but because I bought every album he had, like the first 20 albums, and then it started, I wasn't into it as much. It was got a little different commercial value to it. It wasn't like the early stuff, But that's it's a different way of expressing it. But I was in the Gordon Lightfoot, James Taylor, the Beatles, so all those influences together, they come out. You just don't know they're there, but they come out, because after I've written some songs and they'll go, well, that's a really cool melody you came up with. I said, I have no idea where it came from. I hope I didn't copy somebody.
Yeah. Well, at this point in human history, it's all been done already. You just got to try to put your twist on it is all you can do.
Oh, yeah. No, I enjoy writing, stories. I have to, I've done this thing. I don't know if you've done any of this where you go to the publisher and you go there every day and you write, and you might write 1 to 5 songs a day, maybe you don't get any, but you go every day and you write, whether I have to be inspired. It might take me a week, and all of a sudden something will hit. And I'd rather spend the time on writing it that way, you know.
Yeah.
But not like a mill, but that's, you know.
Yeah, I've never had a
come out of it, you know.
I've never had a publishing deal. I'm kind of in the hunt for one right now, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hang all my eggs in that basket, but just just keep going.
I have my own. I had some short contracts with them, you know, because that's what they would do. Like I had some songs that I wrote with several other writers. Have you ever heard of a guy named Walker Hayes?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, Walker's was a friend of mine, and we wrote together. And I had some songs that were pitched, and you know, some of them got put on hold. Some of them had artists saying, "Oh, I want that song," But when it comes around, you know how the deal works.
Yeah.
So, we had those, but we own. He was with a publisher, and I just had my own publishing. I just incorporated my own, so. I own all of nothing.
It's still, 100% of nothing still better than giving it away.
That's it. I guess so. Who knows? I know one thing. I'm going to live forever on the internet.
There you go.
I don't know if it's a good thing or not. Someday they'll wipe all those hard drives off, you know.
A couple more songs of yours I wanted to mention. You did a Christmas song. I saw. I didn't write the name of it down, but that's something I've always wanted to do is record a Christmas song.
You got to do them in the summertime.
Yeah.
Which song was? You remember what it was? Is it a patriotic one or just a happy? I've only written a couple.
Salty Sandy Christmas.
Oh yeah, that's a novelty song. Yeah, Sandy Salty Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This jolly old man's got his feet in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And another song, I listened to a bunch of your songs today, and I've been doing it over the last couple of weeks since we knew we were going to do this.
Yeah.
Girl on a Beach in Texas.
Yeah.
I really like that song. Is that a true story? Did you have somebody back waiting on you when you came to Nashville?
There's a fellow. He's a retired. He's got lots of songs on the radio. He's not a writer. He's a lyricist. And the guy for years has sent me, and I hear guys cutting the songs that he sent me because I go, nah, they're not me. I don't, because he doesn't give them to you in a song. He gives them to you like an idea and a poem,
Right.
And he'd send them to me, and I say, I usually like to write with somebody face to face. And he sent me a lot of stuff, and some of it was just little. I mean, I don't mind doing cheesy, but some of it was just too cheesy for me. And
right.
So, but if it was a good idea, then finally he sent me that song, and I completely rewrote it because he had the chorus and the chorus and the verse flipped in that song, and it's completely different than it is now. But the idea was there,
right?
So I rewrote it, and I was going to do I think this is during COVID, and Phoenix said he wanted to produce my next album I was going to do. So we did 3 songs. We did Rum Runner Brothers. Phoenix produced all those for me. We wrote them together. Rum Runner Brothers, Lignum Vitae Man, and that song too, Girl on a Beach. And when I brought him that song, I said, I got these songs I've been working on, and this guy in Texas sent it to me. I said, he does. I came up with the melody, and so Phoenix heard it. And he goes, we need to cut this one. He recognized it. I said, yeah, I kind of liked it, so I thought it had something. So we played it, but it's probably one of the least true stories of anything that I've written, because a lot of my stuff is based on something true. But I mean, it is sort of, because it's basically about any guy that's moved to Nashville, which there's tens of thousands of them that have gone to write or become an artist or a guitar player or guitar slinger. They've all left somebody behind,
Right.
And they say it's a 5-year town or it's a 10-year town, and they leave a girl behind. And I was be honest with you, the way I came up with it, the way I wrote it, is because the radio Trop Rock stations out in the western side of the Trop Rock world won't play my music. So I'm a Florida guy for some reason. I don't know what the deal is. It's politics, I guess. But they wouldn't play it. I said, well, maybe all my stuff's about Florida or this or that, So I said, this might help. This is So that's why I got into it, started writing it, and so it's not nothing true, but it is true.
It's a cool song. I like it.
Yeah.
I know they want us to try to keep this at right 30 minutes. We're right at 30-minute mark. So
I'm surprised we've gone as long as we have.
Tell us where people can find you, where you're going to be playing shortly. And
I just, I posted on Facebook. That's the only thing I do. I don't do any of the others. I've gotten off Instagram and all those. I'm not chasing it. I just do it to go have fun. They hire me to go do stories at house concerts, and I'll play some songwriter things. So you can just find me at rayboone.com or Ray Boone at Facebook. I pop up, all my music stuff pops up. But I'm playing, like I say, I'm playing a few festivals, and that's it. I'm not really chasing it. I'm writing some other songs. I have some other songs that I'm considering. You know who MFG Records is?
Yeah.
Dave Signs.
Yeah.
Well, Dave Signs is producing my stuff down here now. So they just put out Hotel Silverado, and I have 2 other songs that we've already. They're just being mastered now, so they're about ready. We'll release them as they go along. But I've got more songs. I just got to decide if I want to spend the time and the money and the effort.
Right. Yep.
I want to write some fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'll be looking forward to hearing it, and I'm sure everybody out there listening is going to look forward to hearing it. So, hey, Ray, thank you for joining me. I really enjoyed it. And from Dockside Live at the Chartroom, this is Jason Acey saying, fins up, keep the party going. Thank you, Mr. Boone.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, see ya.
Bye.